back to my channel, Wobbling Budbird, and on today's video I will be doing my review of Girl, Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Bashardoust. So stay tuned. My review, as seen previously in my Slay review, for standalone books such as Girl, Serpent, Thorn, for now, I don't know if it's Secret Coming or if it's a standalone, but to my knowledge it's a standalone. I could be wrong. If I am, just let me know in the comments below. I will be doing a non-spoiler part of my review and then a spoiler section of my review. That's how I do things. So this means that if you just want to stick around for the non-spoiler section to see if this is a book that you might be interested in and there will be no spoilers, totally cool. And if you want to stick around for the spoiler review because let's say you've read the book and you want to see what I thought and how my views compared to yours, that's also perfectly awesome too. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. And let's get into it. So, for my non-spoiler review, obviously I'm not going to give away any spoilers of what happens in this story. I'm just gonna, tell you what I think. And as you can tell by the cover, and the mint green sprayed edges, this is a fairy edition. So I didn't go out to buy this. It came in a book box at the time. A lot of people were talking about it. I know it's a bit late, my review, I'm sorry. But yeah, I actually really loved the story. It was really well done, completely different to what I thought it was going to be. And it was really, really well crafted actually. I really, really enjoyed reading it. I thought the character development was brilliantly done in the story. Like, the main character grows so much from the beginning to the end, and for the character development alone I would recommend it if you're a reader that loves reading a story that focuses on character development. I think that it did this beautifully. The plot development was a little bit confusing at times, but I think it was perfectly well done, and at the end it all made sense anyway, so that was all good. I think, yeah, the language was really good as well. A little bit confusing at times, but I loved exploring this new world, and there were some really beautiful lines in the story that I really liked. It has a beautiful set of prose, which was really enjoyable to read. I think the weaker parts are probably like the world development and the pacing, of which I'd get more into in my spoiler section, but just really briefly, I did think the pacing was a little bit all over the place. So if you're someone who doesn't enjoy having pacing a bit, if you're a reader that's really specific and like to have a consistent pacing, this might put you off. And I think the world development could have been expanded on much more. But I really did enjoy the story and I thought it was really well done. I gave it 19 out of 25, which is 76, so it's got a high 4 stars. And yeah, I just thought it was brilliant. Like, I would definitely recommend it if you're someone who's really into fantasy, or if you're someone who really loves having like a fairy tale spin on things. This is definitely for you, but I think also if you're someone who doesn't like that, you might not enjoy it as much. I love the romance in this. The romance was really well good. It was really good. And what I also liked as well is it seems like, I believe our main character is bisexual, so there was bisexual representation in this story, which was amazing. And there is a lesbian relationship in this story, which is beautiful. I love LGBT representation. This is up there, and I thought it was really good. So yeah, if you want just a solid read, an enjoyable read that's not too complicated, it's just a beautiful story. And if you just want something like that this time, something a bit wholesome, this is a book I would definitely recommend. It's really good. It's just a really fun read. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. So let's get into my spoiler part of this story. Let's get into the spoiler section of this review. So if you don't want to be spoiled, turn off now. And let's get into it. So yeah, this, as it says from the blurb, right? There was and there was not, as always began as a princess cursed to be poisonous to the church. But for Sawyer, who has lived her whole life hidden away from everyone apart from her family, she, safe only in the gardens, is not just a story, it's her real life. As the day of her twin brother wedding approaches, Sawyer must decide if she's willing to step outside the shadows for the first time. Below in the dungeon is a demon who holds knowledge that she craves, the answer to her freedom. And above is a young man who isn't afraid of her, whose eyes linger not with fear but with an understanding of who she is beneath the poison. Sawyer thought she knew her place in the world, but when her choices lead to consequences she never imagined, she begins to question who she is and who she is becoming, human or demon, princess or monster. And I loved, absolutely adored Sawyer's development throughout the story. I thought it was really, really well done. The fact that she, like, the emotional element of her story, where she's questioning whether or not, like, what she's doing is right or wrong, and her having the guilt, but also the anger for how she's been treated, was really beautifully done and felt very realistic to me. I liked the even the main villain, like, even though he's not a very nice character, when you hear about his side of his story, you get to have a better understanding of why he's doing what he's doing. And you can kind of sympathise a little, but at the same time you still know that he is, you know, he needs to be stopped. And you root for Sawyer throughout this whole story for doing that. I loved her romantic relationship with Pavana, I think her name is. Yeah, that was really, really cool. And I loved learning about all the divs. I thought that was really, really interesting. Like, one of the best part of the world building. My only criticism about it is the fact that I wanted to know more. Like, I wanted to know more about the different types of divs, and I wanted them to have a bit more, like, it kind of felt like the packs, which are the type of divs that Pavana is, they're very different, but then all the other divs kind of just felt very similar, and I wish there was more information given to separate them a bit more in my mind, because I don't know, it would have been nice to see them having a bit of more independence, a bit more to them than just kind of, you know, violent creatures, because obviously the packs show that they're more than that, so it would have been nice to just see a bit more differences within those characters. That would have been nicer. It would have been nicer to see a bit more from her twin brother too, even though he does obviously come through at the end and he really supports her. It would have been nice to learn a bit more about him and his wife, his fiance becomes his wife, which is Sawyer's, like, ex-best friend. That would have been nicer too. I found the plot a bit confusing at times, but I didn't really mind it. I mean, I did only give it a 4 out of 5, so I did deduct a mark there, but I think because of how overall it all came, and I love the ending, and endings to me can always make or break a story, the fact that it all came together really beautifully just made that bit less of an issue. What else would I want to say? yeah, a bit more competitive than the Devils would have been nice. And the pacing, it would have been nice to have the pacing, because there were times when it really needed to slow down and instead it kind of sped up. And then there were times where it just needed to move a bit faster and it was really a bit slow. So there are some parts of the story where you kind of had to force yourself to get through because of just the pacing issues. And that's all it was just the pacing. But yeah, I really loved the story. I thought it was really good. Definitely worthy of the 4 stars that I gave it. So yeah, if you want to read a good fantasy, I definitely recommend this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next review. Bye!